Ananya and Rohit, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just revise all the concepts that we discussed in the previous class. I'll be starting the class in less than 5 minutes. Guys, are you revising or talking? 1 minute. Earlier. என்ன பேர் காட்டுதாங்க? வைஃபை நேம். இல்ல. கனெக்ட் ஆகல. நீ ஒன்று பண்ணு, கண்டினியூஸ் சப்போர்ட். அதில் கார்டு போட்டியா? மெமரி கார்டு கண்டினியூஸ் சப்போர்ட். Those who are online, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we get started? Yeah. Okay. So first question will be short to people who are talking. Backside busy people who are talking. No, sir. படிச்சியா? சரி, அப்ப ஆன்சர் பண்ணு. படிக்க சொல்லி டைம் கொடுத்தா you're talking, huh? Okay. So can you tell me the three formulae that we discussed in the previous class without looking at your book? Your head should not go down. Tell me. Okay. By T. For that is for what? Which formula is for what? You told 2v sin 2vi sin theta divided by g. That is for what? That's for time of flight. Then what about the maximum height? Oh, better tell. Yes. Vi into sin square theta book. Is that what you wrote? No, vi square v sin square theta. Okay. Then what about the range form? Okay. In the place of vi square, what else can I replace with? We can replace it with u also, right? So having said that, now you read this question. Tell me how we are supposed to do. So it says there is a cricket ball which is thrown at a speed of 28 meters per second in a direction 30 centimeter above the horizontal. So there is a cricket ball thrown at a speed of 28 meters per second at an angle 30 degrees above the horizontal. Calculate the maximum height, the time taken by the ball to return to the same level, and the horizontal distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level. So if you observe, the object was thrown from here, right? So it is going to travel in this kind of a path and again come and hit at the same level. Am I right? So you can take this as O and A, right? And let me take this as U. So U is equal to 28 meters per second, which is the initial velocity. So what is the data? U is equal to 28 meters per second. What about theta? Theta is equal to 30 degrees. Then what else is given? Nothing. Right? So we need to apply the formula for H max, which is basically U square sine square theta divided by G. Right? U square sine square theta divided. Wait, no, 28 into 28. So 28 square is 28 into 28 into how much are you going to get? Sine 30. So sine 30 divided by G, we can take it as 10. Okay. We'll take it as 10. If at all they have not mentioned anything, generally we take it as 9.8 only. But sometimes we can take it as 10 also. But you check this with your teacher. Okay. If your teacher is particular that you need to take only 9.8, then go with it. Okay. So here, if you observe, this is going to be 28 into, this is 28. No. What is sine 30? Sine 30 is half. So half will cancel this 28 and leave 14, right? Divided by 10. So 28 into 14 is how much? Oh, sine square. Okay. Then it will be 1 by 4. That will be 1 minute. I'll come again. So here it is going to be sine square 30, right? So when it is sine square 30, it is going to be 1 divided by 4. So 1 by 4 will cancel this 28 7 times. So 28 into 7, the whole divided by 10. What is 28 7? So it is going to be 196 divided by 10, which will be 19.6 meter. Means the height from the bottom to the topmost point is going to be 19.6 meter. Am I clear with this? Right. So that is the answer for the first part of the question. Calculate the maximum height. The second question is calculate the time taken by the ball to return to the same level. What do they mean by same level? To the same horizontal level. Okay. So it started at this horizontal level. It needs to come back to the same horizontal level. Then how much is the time it is going to take? The time is called as the time of flight. Right. So we have a mathematical equation for time of flight. What is it? It is 2u sine theta, the whole divided by g. Right? This is going to be 2 into 28 into sine theta is how much? Sine 30 is a half divided by g is 10. So 2 and 2 get cancelled. Answer will be 2.8 seconds. It takes 2.8 seconds for the object to travel from O to A. Right? From O to A, it takes 2.8 seconds. Right? The last part of the question is the horizontal distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level. Meaning, they are asking this distance, and this distance is going to be the range, or you also call it as horizontal range. So what is going to be the formula for range? If you observe for range, range is represented by the symbol capital R. So range is equal to how much? U square sine. Yes, it is u square sine 2 theta divided by, it is 2g. So u square sine 2 theta divided by 2g. So u is how much? 28. So 28 into 28 into sine 2 theta means in the place of theta you will substitute 30. So sine 2 theta is going to be sine 60. Right? So sine 2 theta is going to be sine 60. So what is the value of sine 60? It is root 3 by 2. Take this and substitute it here. You will get root 3 by 2, the whole divided by 2 into, again the value of g, you can take it as 10. So this 2 will cancel this 14 times, right? And this 2 will cancel this 7 times. So 28 into 7, again 196 into root 3 divided by 10. So it is going to be 19.6 root 3 meter. So it is 19.6 root 3 meter. And this is going to be the horizontal range. Okay. So these are the three parameters expected in this question. Did you all make a note of it? Previous slide. Huh? Okay. Did I mistake the formula? I think it is 2G. Yeah, that is wrong. Actually, we made a mistake. It is 2G here and it is G there. Here it is G, guys. See, check what is the maximum range I gave you. I gave you for 45 degrees, no? See, it's simple, Ram. It's U cos theta multiplied with 2U sin theta by G. So here it should be G actually. I made a mistake, yes. Here it is G and there it is 2G. Okay. Yes, it will change. So let me do it again. Listen. When an object is projected from here at an angle of 30 degrees with a speed of 28 meter per second when it is traveling from the point O to A, right? So what is the formula for maximum height? It is U square sin square theta divided by 2G. Okay, it is U square. Here it is 2G. There it is not. Okay. So how to remember is, for range, we did this as the derivation. It is basically horizontal velocity into time. So by doing this only, what we got is U into U is U square into 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta, the whole divided by G. Okay. So I'm erasing this part also. H max is equal to U square sin square theta by 2G. So it is 28 into 28 into what is the value of sin square 30 divided by 2 into 10. So this will go 14 times and sin square 30 is going to be 1 by 4. 1 by 4 will cancel this 7 times. So 7 into 14, 84. No. It is going to be 28, 90, 9. Wait, 14 into 7. 14 into 7. It is 98, no? 98. So 98, the whole divided by 10, it will be 9.8 meters per second. See, actually, in this problem, if you take it as 9.8, if you take the value of G as 9.8, here you got the multiple as 98. No, then it will be easy. Then you will get answer as 10. Okay, 98, 9.8 meters. Got it? See, generally look at the problem. If you have multiples of 9.8, take 9.8 or else you take it as 10. In the previous case, why I took it as 10 is because I didn't have any multiple of 9.8. Okay. So what about the time taken? Time of flight is going to be equal to 2U sin theta divided by G. So how much is this going to be? 2 into U is 28 into sin 30 is going to be half divided by G is going to be 10. So this will cancel this 14. So 28, again, you're going to get the same answer, 2.8 second. Okay. Now, what about the range? Range is U square sin 2 theta, the whole divided by G. So U square is 28 into 28 into what is sin 60? It is going to be root 3 by 2, the whole divided by 10. This will cancel this 14 times. So 14 into 28, how much did we get? Sorry? So you will get 39.2 root 3 meter. So you'll get 39.2 root 3 meter. Clear with this? Okay. Shall I proceed? So try this. It's a similar problem, just apply the formula, find the values. Okay. So what is the answer? Let's see. So problem says an object is projected with a velocity of 30 meter per second projected with a velocity of 30 meter per second at an angle 30 degrees with the vertical. So 30 degrees is taken here. Okay. Find the maximum height, time of flight, and the horizontal range. So if you observe, the object is still going to travel in a parabolic path. The question is, when you're applying the formula of maximum height as u square sine square theta, the whole divided by 2g, what should be the value of theta that you're considering? So if you take theta is equal to 30, your answer will be wrong. You should take it as 60 because all the formulae that we have derived is with respect to theta being considered with respect to the horizontal. That is why in the question it is very clear that it is 30 degrees with respect to the vertical. So please be clear with this point. If you see the word angle made with respect to the vertical, never apply the direct formula. Okay. Even if you apply it, make sure that the value of theta is always applied as the complementary. 60. Okay. So it is going to be u square is 30 into 30 into sine square 60. So sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Sine square 60 is 3 by 4. So it is going to be 3 by 4, the whole divided by 2 into, since I have multiples of 10, I will take the value of g as 10 itself. Okay. So this and this will get cancelled. 4 will cancel. 30 how many times? 7.5 times. Yeah. So 7.5 into 3 is 22.5, the whole divided by 2, which is going to be 11.25 meter. Same answer. I missed a 3 there. You will not get the same answer. Yes. I missed a 3 here. No, I missed a 9 actually. I multiplied this 3 already, no? Yeah. So it is going to be correction here. So 7.5 into 3, 22.5 into 3. So how much are we going to get? What is 225 into 3? How much? 7? 65, Ada? 675, yeah. So it will be 675. So 67.5. The whole divided by 2. How much is that going to be? 33 point. We'll get 15, no? So 33, 66, 15, 33.75. So it is going to be 33.75 meter. Clear? Now, what about the time of flight? So time of flight is 2u sine theta, the whole divided by g. So how much is this going to be? 2 into u is 30 into sine theta. Sine theta is sine 60. That is going to be root 3 by 2. The whole divided by g value is 10. So this and this will get cancelled. 2 and 2 are gone. Answer will be 3 root 3 seconds. Okay, it is going to be 3 root 3 seconds. Right. Similarly, what is going to be the value of range? So range is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So u square is again going to be 30 into 30 into sine of 2 theta. Theta is 60. Sine 2 theta will be sine 120. Right. Into sine 120, the whole divided by how much are we going to get? It is going to be 10. So this and this will get cancelled. What is sine 120? Sine 120 is the same as sine 60. Okay. See, sine 120 is the same as sine 60. For those who don't know, I'm explaining it. Listen. Sine 120 is the same as sine 60. The reason being, the formula for sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay. So I'll explain two things. Listen to this carefully. Why sine 120 is equal to sine 60 is because there is an identity like this. Sine of 180 minus theta is equal to sine theta. Because sine 180 minus theta falls in the second quadrant, hence it will be positive. Answer is sine theta. That is why 120 can be written as 180 minus 60. 180 minus 60. So the answer will be sine 60. That is the reason for the first step. Suppose you don't know this logic for the time being. After you learn trigonometry, you will understand this. Okay. So sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta cos theta. So sine 120 can be written as 2 times sine 60 into cos 60. So it is going to be 2 into sine 60. I'm leaving it as it is. Cos 60 is half. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. It will still come out as sine 60. So this is another way of understanding. Okay. So if you know this, well and good. If not, please make a note of it. First, let others copy this. I hope I'm clear, right? So, having this in mind, if you try to solve this, you will get 30 into 3, which is 90, into sine 120 is the same as sine 60. So it is going to be root 3 by 2. It will be 45 root 3 meter. So that is going to be the horizontal range in this scenario. Is that point clear? So it will be 45 root 3. Okay. Make a note of it. So let me know once you're done. Done? Shall I proceed to the next one? And it's still writing. So the next question is, a projectile has a range of 30 meters and reaches a maximum height of 10 meters. If these two are the given information, calculate the angle at which the projectile is fired. Okay. So listen to this carefully. It is the same projectile which is thrown at the same angle, right? Meaning u and theta applied in the formulae of range and maximum height is the same, accepted? So I'm repeating it. It is the same projectile thrown at the same angle. For that projectile, there are two parameters given. What are they? One is the horizontal range and the maximum height. So when you apply the formula, what are the two important parameters that we need? You need the initial velocity and you need the value of theta. So they both are same for both the equations. Am I right? So observe what I'm going to do is H max is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Right? So what is the other parameter given? Range is given. So range equation is u square. Instead of sine 2 theta, can I write it as 2 sine theta cos theta? Both are same, no? So u square 2 sine theta cos theta. So the whole divided by g. Basically what I did is u square sine 2 theta, I wrote it as 2 sine theta cos theta by g. Now observe, I'm going to divide H max with range. The reason why I'm doing it is, if you observe the question, there is no data related to initial velocity, first thing. But the advantage is in both the equations, I have u square. So when I divide both, u square gets cancelled. And second logic is, they're asking only the angle. So I'll be able to get an expression which gives the relation between the maximum height, range, and the angle. So what I'm trying to do in this problem is, I'm not solving it directly by applying the formula. What I could have done is, in the place of r, I could have substituted 10. First find u square, then substitute it back here, which will be a tedious process. Instead of that, I am actually deriving a formula for this particular problem. Okay. So what is going to be the equation is, H max divided by range is going to be equal to u square sine square theta, the whole divided by 2g, the whole divided by u square sine 2 theta. Okay. Correction here. U square. So u square 2 sine theta cos theta, the whole divided by g. So u square and u square are gone. 1 sine theta is gone. 2 and 2 will get multiplied. G and g are gone. So here don't cancel this 2 and 2 because it is of the form a by b by c by d. So b and c get multiplied, d and a get multiplied. Right? So what will happen here? What is that you're left out with? Sine theta, right? Divided by 2 into 2 is 4 and you're left out with cos theta. So basically what is the sine theta by cos theta is going to be tan theta. So this will be tan theta divided by 4. Okay. Remember, in whichever question maximum height and range is given, we can think of this particular expression. So here the answer is tan theta is equal to, I'll bring this 4 this side, it will become 4 times H max divided by R. This can be asked as a question in your MCQ also. If at all they ask, you can remember this expression directly. So what is it? Tan theta is equal to 4 times the maximum height divided by range. So now all that you need to do is take the values and substitute. 4 into what is the value of maximum height? 10 divided by what is the range? 30. They both will get cancelled. You will have 4 by 3. Okay, tan theta is equal to 4 by 3. So this implies theta is equal to, you write it like this, which is called as tan inverse of 4 by 3. So how do you read it? This is read as tan inverse. Tan inverse is not the same as 1 by tan. Tan inverse is an angle. 1 by tan is the reciprocal of tan. Reciprocal and inverse are not same. Just because I put a -1 on top. I hope you're able to understand this point, right? So what is this? Tan inverse of 4 by 3. Okay. So this is going to be the answer. இது multiplicative inverse கிடையாது. See, multiplicative inverse are actually there are many inverses, right? You learn in matrices that has something to do with multiplicative inverse, but here it has something to do with functions. Simple சொல்லணும்னா tan of an angle is a value. Tan inverse of value is an angle. அப்படியே reverse ஆகும். அது சொல்ற நல்லா கேட்டுக்கோ. Tan of an angle is a value. Means tan theta is equal to 4 by 3 is there. No, that theta is the angle. What did I say? Tan of an, whenever you write tan trigonometric function directly, you will always substitute the angle inside. So tan of an angle is equal to value. Tan inverse will be taken only for values. So what will tan inverse give you? Angle. That is how it works. That is why theta is equal to tan inverse 4 by 3. Okay. So just to give you a confirmation, I'll tell that point. Listen to this. You can make a note of it because you'll see this in many places. Okay, concentrate. Tan is a trigonometric function. Tan inverse is an inverse trigonometric function. About this, you'll learn next year in your math. So what did I call this as? Inverse trigonometric function. FNS function. Okay. So tan is a trigonometric function. So what is the input given to tan or a trigonometric function? It will be an angle. So trigonometric function of an angle will lead you to some value. Value means some number will, some fraction or some number will come out. Okay. Tan inverse, what you will do is take this value as the input. So whatever I'm writing within the bracket, right, that's called as the input. Okay. So tan inverse will take the input as the value, and what output will it give? It will give angle. So they just get cross multiplied like this. That's it. Okay. Previous slide. You don't know the value for this. No, you need a logbook. I know the value of this. It is 53 degrees. Because there is a special triangle. எதை வச்சு calculate பண்ணு. ஒண்ணே ஒண்ணு புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. Physics, nobody is bothered about how much, what is the angle or something. In physics, see, this is mathematical part. You are worried too much about the mathematical part. In physics, you should be bothered only about this part. You cannot do that. எப்படி 50 என்ன பண்ண சொல்லு. அப்படி வராது. Still you will get the tan inverse of 4 by 3 on. I'll tell you what is the meaning of it. இது வரைக்கும் புரியுதுல்ல? You're able to understand. I'll tell you what it means. Listen. I'll tell you how I told that 53. Actually, it will not be exactly 53 also. It will be 53.5 something. Okay. If you want, you can do this as an activity at home and see. Geometry box la irukka தூக்கி போட்டீங்களா? இருக்குல்ல? சரி. அது எடுத்து தூசி தட்டி first do this and see. So listen, you have a triangle, let's say ABC, which is right angled at B. Okay. Can you tell me the first Pythagorean triplet that you know? It is 3, 4, and 5. right? So I'll take 3, 4, and 5. Is that right? So I can take 3 here, 4 here, or 4 here and 3 here. Now I will draw another triangle with the same values. Observe. Okay. Here I take it as 4, here I take it as 3, and here I take it as 5. I'll call this as alpha, this as beta. Okay. So if I ask you, what is sine theta from this triangle, what will you say? 4/5. What is cos theta? 3/5. What is tan theta? Correct. That's what you got. Now, what about the next one? What about the next one? Sine theta is going to be equal to 3/5. Cos theta is equal to 4/5. Tan theta is equal to 3/4. Now, listen to this carefully. If you draw a triangle of 4 units, 3 units, and 5 units like this, okay, 3 units, 4 units, and 5 units, they should be in the same proportion. To put it simple, 3K, 4K, and 5K. Right. For example, if you take this to be 30 centimeter, this should be 40, this should be 50. Can you tell me some other number? Take K as 5. This should be 15 centimeter, 20 centimeter, and 25 centimeter. If you just take 1, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter, you do any kind of combination by substituting the same value of K as a multiple of 3. Take your protractor and measure this angle and tell me the value tomorrow. This angle should come out to the number that I told you. It will be somewhere between 53 and 54. Check and see. Okay. In a similar way, if you substitute, if you check for this triangle and see, no, it will be somewhere around 37 to 38. It will be 37.5, closer to that one. So are you able to understand what is the meaning of it? So that is why I told in this case it is 53, but this is a special triangle. Why I call it as a special triangle is because it is formed using the Pythagorean triplets. Not all the triangles are going to have a similar kind of a pattern. Right. So that is why these numbers are little famous. You will see these numbers again and again. So what you can do is, suppose you see sine theta is equal to 3/5, cos theta is equal to 4/5, or tan theta is equal to 3/4. You can remember that the angle is going to be 37 degrees. Suppose you see sine theta as 4/5. If sine is greater than cos, to put it simple, that 3, 4, 5 combination, if sine is greater than cos, then alpha will be a higher value. It will be 53 degrees. Why I told us 53 is because 53 plus 37 will give you 90. It will be a complementary angle. Are you able to understand? So this is what happens. This is a special type of triangle. If you want, you can make a note of this, just to understand. But if you want to do it for other triangles, you cannot do it directly like this. You need a logbook. Not all Pythagorean. This is for 3, 4, 5. Can you tell me another set of Pythagorean triplet that you know? Okay, if you take for 6, 8, and 10, it will be slightly different. But 6, 8, and 10, you should get the same value. Why? Because you substitute K is equal to 2. If you substitute K is equal to 2, 6, 8, 10 now. But try another Pythagorean triplet else. 5, 12, 13. They are not the multiples of these. No? So for 5, 12, 13, it will be different. That is how trigonometry should work. Trigonometry இருக்கிறது அதுக்காக தான். Major reason is அது வந்து உங்களுக்கு டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ல எப்படி கொடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னா ப்ராப்ளம் கொடுத்து they confuse you. Actually, the real application of it is to have the sides in the same ratio. The main trigonometry main application. Why are we considering right angle triangle? It gives you the relation between sides in terms of angles. அதான பண்ற பாரு. Sin theta is equal to 4/5. This is the ratio. This is the angle. இப்போ இந்த tripod stand நிக்குதுடா. இருக்குல்ல. This uses trigonometry to stand. இப்போ for example, if one of the legs was away, right, you cannot balance it. Mathematically, trigonometry plays an important role. In terms of physics, center of gravity plays an important role. அப்படியே டாப்ல இதெல்லாம் புரியும் உனக்கு. You will understand once I start laws of motion. I'll try to connect the dots. Simple ரா, ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. The mic, let's take this mic into. You see, I wear it like this, right? I'll wear it here. Proposa. Yeah. So you're seeing that this mic is coming closer to my body. I'll wear it in the reverse and show you. What do you think will happen? Falling? Why? Actually, wait, for this object, the center of gravity will be somewhere at the center. So when I keep it like this, it is not the weight alone acting, weight to the component வருது, that is mg sin theta. வரும் mg sin theta ன்னு ஒன்று வரும். Okay, அது வந்து இப்படி bend ஆகுது. That is why it is pushing outside. Whereas when I wore it inside, the same mg sin theta was acting in this side. Instead of potential energy கிடையாது, அது force. There is a difference between energy and force. Energy is work done. Force is a pusher up. There is a difference. No? When I see by the end of 6th chapter, you will get clarity of what we are doing. அது வரைக்கும் எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் டைம் கொடுங்க. Okay. I cannot go more deeper, you will get confused. So wait for the 4th and the 5th chapter. 4th chapter, you will get some clarity. 5th one, you will be completely clear. After I complete the work energy power, 7th is considered to be one of the toughest. Rotational mechanics, but we'll do it practically. We'll not learn it theoretically. Practically, the table we will do and see. Okay, we can do, you will be able to understand, but give me time till then. Okay, can you try this problem? A boy stands at 39.2 meter from a building and throws a ball which just passes through a window 19.6 meter above the ground. Calculate the velocity of projection. They didn't give? That you can take because 39.2, 19.6, everything is a multiple of 9.8. So are you able to draw a diagram for this? Can I see? Okay. Okay. But you drew only half. What about the remaining part? It will pass through. So it will go and fall on the other end. Actually, but according to the question, it will pass through. They are trying to say it falls on the other end. No logic correct, but that's how the question is framed. Okay, listen. There is a ground, right? There is a building, okay, and there is a window here. We don't know how many floors are there above it, that we are not concerned about, okay? Consider it as a tower. There is a boy who is standing at a distance of 39.2 meter away from the basement, right? So from here, a projectile is thrown so that it is passing through this and going and falling at the other end. Okay. Then what will this height be called as? It is the maximum height, which is going to be 19.6 meter. So if this is 39.2, we know that whenever the air resistance is ignored, right? So the journey, the ascending journey and the descending journey are going to travel equal amount of horizontal distances. Meaning this is 39.2. How much is this going to be? 39.2. So in this problem, what is the range? The range is not 39.2, rather it is 39.2 into 2. So indirectly what they have given is, they have given you the range value, which is going to be 78.4, right? So it is 78.4 meter. Then what about the height? 19.6 meter, right? You need to calculate the velocity of projection, but there is a hidden information in this. They didn't give you what is the angle of projection, right? Because whenever range and maximum height are given, u and theta are the two important parameters that are needed to be known by us to solve the problem. So they are asking u in this problem, unlike the previous one, right? So for that, first what we will do is find the value of theta. So how to do that? We derived it that tan theta is equal to 4 times h divided by r. So here capital H refers to the maximum height. So 4 into, what is the value of capital H? It is 19.6, the whole divided by, this is going to be 78.4. So 19.6 will cancel this 4 times, this and this will get cancelled 1 time. Am I right? So tan theta is equal to 1, theta is going to be 45 degrees. Right? Now you take and apply the formula of maximum height or range and then solve the problem. There is one more information that we need to know. Whenever a projectile is thrown at an angle of 45 degrees with respect to horizontal, it has the maximum range. Right? So I would suggest you apply the formula of range itself. So R is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. R is what? U is what we need to find. R is given as 78.4 is equal to u square into sine 2 theta. Sine 90 is going to be 1. So it is 1, the whole divided by 9.8. So u square will be equal to 78.4 into 9.8. Now the question is 78.4 is how many times 9.8? Eight. So it's going to be 8. So 8 into 9.8, right? 8 into 9.8 into 9.8. Basically, instead of finding the square root, I'm doing prime factorization. Then what is the value of u? U is equal to square root of this. So square root of 8 is 2 root 2. Square root of 9.8 into 9.8 is going to be 9.8 only, because 9.8 will come out. So what will be the answer? 2 into 9.8 is 19.6 root 2 meter per second. So this is going to be the initial velocity. It's 19.6 times root 2. Okay. So I hope you could understand. Right. See, there are some more kind of problems also where we need to apply the concept of maximum range. Sometimes I gave an example, I gave a special case of complementary angles. What is that? Where did I say that the angle of projection should be complementary to each other? If both of them are supposed to have the same Maximum height or same range? Yes. For the projectile to have the same range at two different angles of projection, how should the angles be? They should be complementary with each other. Means if you throw an object with a velocity of 5 meters per second, let's say at an angle of 30 degree and you get a range. So if you project at the same 5 meters per second, what should be the angle for you to get the same range? Should be 60. Am I clear with that? Okay. See, if you observe this scenario, right? See, there's something which is a free source, even you can use it, right? It's a simulation basically. So let's validate everything that we discussed. Okay. So many of you play badminton? Everyone, no? Cricket? Okay. So you can use the same logic. Both are based on projectile motion. Angry Birds. What is the physics behind it? Same projectile motion. Right? You project it at a particular angle, it will go and hit the target. Right? So if I take this angle, right? Let's say it is 80 degrees. No. I'm fixing the initial velocity. Let's say I'm projecting it at somewhere around 60. Okay. Let me check all the parameters. The mass of the ball is there, diameter, gravity is there. I'm not considering any air resistance. There is no air resistance considered. Now, if we project it, right, it is going and hitting at a particular place. So this is 15 meter, right? So let us see what is going to be the range. Let me see. Okay, let that be the point where it is going and hitting. Now, how much should I change this angle to so that I get the same range? I'm not changing the initial velocity. I should change it to 30. Observe. What do you think will be the changes that you'll observe? Same logic, the badminton. Let's say you're at the back. If you want to hit it, then what do? You try to, if you want to smash it, you will try to keep the maximum height low. If you have to pass it from here to the other, right? Let's say you're taking the shot from the back, you need to take some height, right? Compared to the previous scenario. The same logic. Okay. Here you took the maximum height. Now, if you observe here, the maximum height will decrease, but observe the range. It will be the same thing. So that is the meaning of complementary angles. Are you able to understand? So here, what is not supposed to be changed? What is that not supposed to be changed? You should not change the initial velocity. At the same time, don't have any air resistance. Okay. We can check and see what will happen with the air resistance. Same amount of air resistance means we can check and see, but all the derivations that we did, we didn't consider the air resistance at all. Are you able to understand? So makes sense, right? Now, there is another point that we saw. If you are projecting the particle with the same initial velocity, you try to project it at different angles. At which angle will you get the maximum range? Exactly at 45. Meaning, I'll take this to 45. I'll project and see. So it's going and hitting this, right? It is going and hitting at this point, no? You try to place any other angle between 0 to 90, you cannot reach that point. That is the meaning of maximum range. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So from here till here, this is going to be the maximum range in this scenario of a particle being projected with a speed of 18 meters per second. Is that clear? Right. Now, let's do a reverse analysis. Okay. They're treating this as a game. And they're saying, can I completely erase this? You got a picture of this, no? Okay. Now, they're saying that I have a target at 15 meter, right? I have set, let's say I have set the angle at 60 degree. Okay. Now I'm asking you a question. What should be the initial speed so that you are able to go and hit it here? Can you calculate and tell me? Let's do the theoretical aspect. Let's validate whether the practical aspect is working or not. So what is that you're supposed to do? The range is expected to be 15 meters. So R is equal to 15. U square sine 2 theta divided by G, right? So U is what you need to calculate, where I fix the angle of projection to be 60 degrees with respect to the horizontal. Can you do and tell me? Can you calculate and tell me? But here it is not directly proportional. It is proportional to U square. So you get a square root. Okay. 15.2 root 3. Root 3 bottom. You tell me a value, I'll enter that. So range is 15, ra. 15 is equal to what did you substitute? U square sine 120. Sine 120 root 3 by 2. Okay, root 3 by 2 divided by G. You can take it as okay, 10 if even if it is approximate value, it is okay with me. Okay, you take it as 10. Then how much will you get? 10 will go to the other side. You will have 150. 150 into 2, 300. 300 divided by root 3. So you'll have 100 root 3. Correct? So it will be 10 times square root of root 3. 10 times square root of root 3 after you take the square root. So root 3 value is 1.7. So square root of 1.7 is approximately 0.4. 16, 1.7, 1.6. I'm telling only an approximate value. So square root of 1.6 is going to be 0.4. So 10 into 0.4 is 4. Right? Is my calculation right? I don't know. Did you validate it? Is my calculation right? Okay. So it should be somewhere around 4 meters per second. Let's try to keep that and see. Even if we get a closer value, we are happy with it. I don't want it to go exactly fall there because we have a lot of decimal values here. So here, so based on the parameters and the requirement that we have given, the horizontal range is expected to be 15 and the angle of projection is 60. We calculated what is the initial velocity and we have set it at 4 meters per second. Let's try to project and see. Didn't work. Why? Did we do any mistake? Is it 4 or 40? Did I do any mistake? 40 means it will go somewhere else. 40, first of all, it's not there in the range itself. So how much is it? Can you please check it again? 15 தானே எடுத்திருக்கீங்க. 15 is equal to u square. 15 is equal to u square sin 120. Sin 120 எவ்வளவு? root 3 by 2 by 10. So you will have 300 divided by root 3 da. Correct only, no? But why is it failing? Thirteen வருதாடா? இல்லை, தியரிட்டிக்கலா வருதா? I think it should work though. Not got it. So understood? Let's try to calculate it theoretically and see. So how much is the value? R is 15. So 15 is equal to u square sin 120 divided by G. So 15 is equal to u square into sin 120 is root 3 by 2. And you have a 10 here. This goes as 150. So 150 into this 2 divided by root 3 is equal to u square. So what will be the value of u square? 300 into root 3 divided by 3. So this will be 100. So 100 into 1.73, how much is it? So u square, u will be equal to 13 point something because 13 square is 169. So it will be 13 point something meter per second. So when we validate it, using the practical approach, it should work. Okay. Clear? So now you're getting some perspective of why we are learning all these things, right? Okay, this can be applied to games as well. If at all you want to be more technical in your sport, like both the games which I told, even in football or whatever it is, like wherever projectile motion is involved, if at all you want to involve a little bit of physics and understand or develop some technique, you can use all these things. Okay. So it's very simple. If the maximum height is more, range will be less. The maximum height is less, range will be more. That's how it works. Okay. So shall I proceed to the next concept? Yeah. So we have 15 minutes. No. So before I proceed, right, I'll explain with this itself. See, till now we were calculating three important parameters. What were they? Maximum height, range, and time of flight, for which all that you needed is a value of u and theta. If you had these two inputs, we can calculate all the three parameters, right? The next question is, see, the maximum height speaks about a specific point, right? Where is it? The maximum height, it has reached vertically. The horizontal range also speaks about a specific point, right? If you try to calculate the distance from the initial point to the final point, that is going to give you the maximum range. But there will be scenarios where sometimes we'll be interested to know at a particular instance, where is a particle? I'm not concerned only about maximum height or range, about the extreme values. If suppose I'm interested to know or study the motion of the particle throughout its motion, like you're able to see, no, the dots that are placed here. Each dot is going to have a particular coordinate associated with it. Accepted? Right. See, if you take this to be the x-axis, this to be the y-axis, on this parabolic path, there are multiple points that are associated. Joining all those multiple points, you're getting this shape. Right. So each point here is going to have what? Is going to have a coordinate associated with it. It is going to have x, comma, y associated with it. So is there a mathematical part that is coming into picture? Right. And secondly, we know the logic that a parabola, right? Parabola can be expressed in mathematics as a second degree polynomial. You know this, right? Ax square plus bx plus c. When you plot it on a graph sheet, what does it represent? It represents an upward parabola if the value of a is greater than 0. If the value of a is less than 0, it is going to represent a downward parabola, right? So what we are going to do is, to the same projectile motion, we are going to approach in a more mathematical way. And that topic, which is going to speak about the mathematical part, is called as the equation of a projectile. Okay. So if you observe, when I project a particle with initial velocity u, let's say at an angle theta, right? Then the path traversed is going to be a parabola like this, right? So I go from O to point A. Now what I will do is, I will consider a generic point here, which I'll call it as P, x comma y. So like that, how many x comma y will you have on this curve? Infinite. We considered only one. For that, I'm going to do an analysis by dropping the perpendicular. So I take the distance from the origin to the foot of the perpendicular, drop from P to M as x. Similarly, if I drop a perpendicular from P onto the y-axis, where I'll call the foot of the perpendicular as y, then this is going to be y. Accepted? So this x and y, according to this diagram, mean this. Right? So this is according to the mathematical part. Now the question is, if this u making an angle theta here, can it be resolved into two components? A horizontal component and a vertical component. What is the horizontal component? What is the horizontal component? U cos theta. And what is going to be the vertical component? It is u sin theta. Am I clear with this? Now, the question is, I need to use the basic equations of motion and derive the relation between x coordinate and y coordinate. Only then I'll be able to frame an equation. Here, equation literally means a mathematical equation. Okay. So when I say it's a mathematical equation, I'm only going to have this x and y in the picture. I'm going to eliminate time and everything. So observe what I'll do is, if I apply the displacement formula along x direction, Sx is equal to ux into t plus half into ax into t square. So what is the displacement of the particle from O to M? It is x is equal to, what is the initial velocity which is pushing it to the distance? It is horizontally. It is u cos theta. See, ux means initial velocity along x direction. It is going to be u cos theta into the time taken by the particle to reach from point O to P is going to be how much? It's t only. It's not time of flight or anything. It is some random time t. Plus half into what is the acceleration of the particle along x direction? 0. The particle is accelerating only along y direction. It is not accelerating along x direction. So half into 0 into t square. So this parameter is going to be 0. From this, what is the expression I can derive? X is equal to u cos theta into t, then what is the value of t? T will be x divided by u cos theta. Let me take this as equation number 1. Right? Let me consider this to be the equation number 1. Now, if I apply the same formula along y direction, displacement of the particle along y direction, this is equal to initial velocity of the particle along y direction into t plus half into acceleration along y direction into t square. Is that clear? So what is going to be the initial velocity along y direction? U sin theta. So it is upward. Upward is considered to be positive. So it is going to be u sin theta multiplied with, in the place of time, can I substitute this? Because at the same instant, the particle is having x and y. Right? Displacement of the particle along y direction is going to be y. So x and y have the same time. Right? So u sin theta into what is going to happen here? X divided by u cos theta plus acceleration of the particle along y direction is minus g because it is in the downward direction into what is time square? It is x square divided by u square cos square theta. Right? Here what is going to get cancelled? U and u are gone. X multiplied with sin theta by cos theta is going to give us, so it is going to be x times tan theta minus, plus into minus is minus, g into x square divided by, there is a 2 here, right? So this 2 is there. So half into minus g into x square divided by u square cos square theta. So 2 multiplied this with this term is going to give us 2 times u square is going to give us 2 times u square cos square theta. And what is this expression? It is y. And this whole expression is what is called as the equation of projectile. So this is what is called as the equation of projectile. Now, we know that a second degree equation ax square plus bx plus c represents a downward parabola if the value of a is less than 0. What is a? A is basically the coefficient of x square. If you observe this expression, you have x square here. The coefficient of x square is negative. That is why you are actually getting a downward parabola. Are you able to understand? So this is the same explanation to the projectile in terms of mathematics. That's why we call it as equation of projectile. And trust me, with this equation, you can solve the problems faster. It's just application of basic coordinate geometry. Just substitute the value of x and y, you will get the values, other values easily. Is that clear? Okay. So make a note of this. Clear? Okay. So practice it, practice this expression. In the next class, what I'll do is I'll teach you how to solve problems based on this. We did few problems in the, like the third and the fourth problem, actually you can solve it using this logic itself. Okay. See, there is one more derivation I'll show you, but that is not a part of your textbook. But I'll show that so that you can apply it for your competitive exams, if at all you're writing. Okay, that I'll show you tomorrow. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, we'll wind up. If you're online, any questions, guys?
No,
Those
sir.
were online. Okay, then we'll wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.